tools that we're going to need to install the new struts on the C8 Corvette. Obviously, you want to have a jack. Jack stand for safety. Have an impact gun that's going to be handy when we do the strut spring compressors. I like kind of an electric ratchet. Here's the spring compressor tool. I just like those little magnetic deals, you know, put all the bolts in and stuff. A couple of lights, something to mark the struts with, because when you're going to make some reference point marks, get yourself like a pry bar type breaker type wrench. A couple of torque wrenches, about 140 pound capable one, then a smaller one just for doing some of the smaller poundages. Obviously a ratchet, 21 millimeter wrenches as well. I'm going to try both of these out. So as far as some of the sockets that we're going to need, we got a 22, 21, 19, 13, 11 millimeter. A couple of wobblers as well, a couple of adapters. I'm going to need a basic little hammer right there, so soft impact type hammer. Screwdriver, some body panel removal tools, and I like this one here. It's just kind of a power screwdriver. That's a 15 Torx heading on there, which we're going to use on the engine compartment as far as this being a convertible. So those are the tools you'll need. So to gain access to the upper strut bolts, what you're going to do is remove a couple of body panels. I'm going to pull this one out here, just reach under it, grab it, pull it out to the center of the car a little bit, move your handle, pull them, and just pop it out. There goes that one. Other side, same kind of deal. Pull it out towards the center, briskly pull it out. To get the center one out, I'm just going to kind of reach under here. There's going to be a retainer right here and a retainer here and a couple in the back. Just reach under, pop it up, and then pull it towards you while pulling up as well. Pull this piece out, pretty easy. And then as far as where the bolts are, there's going to be these silver round looking aluminum things that are inside there. There's going to be 3 bolts. They're about 22 pounds. Torque is holding them on, so when you put them back on, about 22 pounds. So just pop those 3 off and then go under the car and start pulling the struts out. Alrighty, so 21-inch wrench on this side, impact gun 21. On this one, millimeter, sorry, not 21-inch, 21 millimeter. So the next step, okay, is going to be to remove the lower control arm bolt, basically from the lower part of the strut assembly. I already loosened it up, so it was a 21 millimeter impact gun on the other side. Hold it with the wrench on this side, pop it off. Don't forget to put it in a little handy tray. I can jiggle it around. Maybe the bolt will come out. If not, a few taps of our hammer here. Just get it around, just a little bit. There we go. Bolts out. Then, to get the strut out, this one's a little bit easier because this one isn't a Z51 car or anything like that. So I think I should be able to just kind of pop this in, like so. I should turn the wheel. I think I'm going to have to turn the wheel, and I'm probably going to take this little assembly right here off real quick. It looks like it's see if I got the right size with me handy. Oh, great. Okay, so that one's going to be a 11 millimeter. So we're going to pop this one off here. Just to give me some room so I can pull the strut out from here. And I'm also going to turn the steering wheel to the passenger side, make it a little bit easier. So a little correction here, guys. So to remove the ABS wire bracket, that was actually a 10 millimeter bolt. So we got that out. I'm going to kind of put some pressure on this. It'll be a lot easier if we have another person here. But pressure on it, jiggle her around, and there she goes. Just be careful of that wire. Boom, there's that assembly out. All right, folks, so before I forget to tell you what we're doing here, pretty simple. What we're doing is replacing these struts here. These are the front ones, or this one's the front one from a 1LT C8 Camaro 2021. And I didn't get the Z51 package, I just got the standard suspension package, and we're replacing the standard shocks with the Z51 option ones. And you can get these from all kinds of places. They're about 80 bucks a shock. Nice part about them is, of course, this adjustable spring perch, so I can adjust the height on them. This one here, obviously I can adjust the height. So if you're looking for the numbers on the part number, there you go. Whatever that is, 6286, the stock one is 6283. And like I said, these are direct replacement Chevy parts. I'm going to use the same spring as well, because I actually kind of liked the way this car was springed. The only thing I didn't like was a little bit of the rebound on it. And I think these other ones are a little bit stiffer on rebound. And also, of course, the adjustability, so we're going to be able to drop the car down. So we'll probably drop it down about probably about 3/4 of an inch or so. So that's what we're putting on. So now we got to bust apart this strut, this one here. So we're going to use the spring compressor and get that broken down. One thing I didn't notice, which I did notice now, which is how you increase the downward travel as far as on the shocks, is this plastic sleeve. So this is the replacement Z51 shock. The fronts and the rear look pretty similar. Doesn't make much difference. But anyway, they come with this plastic sleeve over them, and I think that's just to protect the thread, basically. So what you want to do is remove that sleeve first, and the way to do that is just get a screwdriver and kind of put it in here and pry it all the way around, and eventually it'll just drop off. And it should look like this pretty much when you're done. So don't forget to remove this sleeve so it looks like this. And I've already dropped this one all the way down, but you can reduce it all the way down now. So now you're going to get about a 1-inch drop, which is what I didn't notice. And I couldn't work out why it wasn't dropping when I first did it. So make sure you remove this plastic sleeve, and then you can just circle the coil or circle the perch all the way down until there's basically none showing if you want to go that way off. What I did is I made alignment marks in the old one. Just kind of went down with my grease pencil and marked all the way down the shock, the springs, on the shock body. And I try to transfer that basically over to the new assembly. This part here rotates around, so it's okay. And then I put a line on it. Basically, I'm just going to try and line everything back up again when I put in this assembly. So next one we're going to do is we're going to take our spring compressors. If you've never used these before, just basically pop these little things out here. Let's go over one side of the spring here. This one goes on the next one. Push these in, and then basically as we tighten this up, it's just going to compress the spring in. So we'll give that a try. A little touch on one side, install the other side, and you can get these from pretty much any auto parts store. They'll all loan you these. It's just a loaner tool program. I'm just going to give them your credit card information. They'll lease one out to you and just return it the next day and get your money back, so it doesn't cost you anything. So pop this one on the spot. And it looks pretty good. Take this one up. That's pretty good there. Same thing, just tighten it on down. There we go. Keep on tightening until it takes the pressure off. Just kind of those alignment marks go all the way down. Also mark them on the old strut as well, and I kind of transcribe it back over to the new struts. As you can see, the orientation of the sticker is pretty much the same, or just the lower mountain stuff. So I'm just going to kind of orient it pretty much down here as close as I can to get it to the original kind of setup. And then we're just going to reinstall this one. I've already lowered the collar all the way down to where I want it, and just pop this spring onto this one, and off we go. So once you get the assembly in here, you got to kind of jiggle it around and pull down on the control arm and everything to get this bolt through. So you just passing the bolt through, kind of just hand tighten it up or tighten it up with some basic tools. Get your 21mm box wrench on one side, and your torque wrench, and your torque wrench is going to be 118 pounds. And And like I said, just torque her down until she's 118 pounds. And looks like we already got it there. No, oopsie. So as far as your top bolts, don't forget to put those back in. And these are going to be 22 pounds. Set them for 22 pounds and replace the, if you have those little caps on there, some people put like a dust cap over here, that's kind of cool. Pop that on and then go on to the other side. And we're done. All right, so here we are at the rear end of the C8. Hey, don't forget to put those jack stands under there, okay, guys? But anyway, some of the things we're going to have to remove right here. And right here are a couple little Torx heads. I think those are 15s as well. We're also going to remove these bolts here. Make sure you keep them in orientation as well. Actually, sorry, we're not going to remove these ones. Keep those ones on, keep the rear ones on. It's the front ones we're going to remove, which are these ones here. Just pull that plug out, 15 millimeter or 15 torque head here. Pull that out. Behind that, there's going to be like a little aluminum block. We're going to pull that out. Pull the two upper A-arm bolts out. This will kind of flip this whole assembly over. Then we're also going to have to release the sway bar end link right here. And let's see. So yeah, we'll remove the sway bar end link. That'll pop this bolt out. And of course on top, there's going to be 3 bolts as well. Kind of the same as the front. So one of the unique things on the convertible is that you have to move the engine cover. So remove the engine cover. There's a bunch of like bolts that hold this thing on. I think there were like 13 or something. These little Torx heads. These are 15 Torx heads as well. All the way around removes that cover. Once you remove the cover, there's your strut mount in the back on the passenger side of the radiator filler, as far as the radiator reservoir, and on the other side over there. So and then we're going to remove those bolts as well. So we'll get those out. There's actually a Torx here, just to push in here, and then another Torx at the bottom. I pulled out just to make it a little bit easier, I thought. Once you get down here, I don't know what this is. If it's like a resonator block or something, just for the road vibration, to take that down a little bit and take the noise out of the car, the sound out of it. But anyway, it's going to be 3 bolts, kind of obvious where those 3 holes are, and those are going to be 10 millimeter. So just pop that out of the way, and you need to do that so you can get to that rear upper, or that forward upper control arm bolt. So I'm going to pop those 3 bolts out. Next step, once we got that kind of harmonics box off, so like I said, we pulled that off, that's out of the way, is we're going to take off the upper control arm bolts. So these are going to be 15 millimeter. So just take these out. Make sure you keep the order right. They're long and short bolts. So anyway, we're going to remove those 15 millimeter. I may have to use a little breaker bar or something, but anyway, you should be able to get them with an impact pretty easily. So we're going to pull these 1, 2, 3, and 4 back there. Got the A-arms off, the upper A-arm bolts removed. Next one is going to be the sway bar end link bolt. This one's a 21 millimeter, so you're going to have to use a breaker bar and break this one off. On the passenger side, it's facing to the rear. On the driver's side, it's kind of facing to the front. So we're going to pop this one off, and that should pretty much loosen up this whole rear suspension. Once we get this off, we'll just drive this bolt out as well. There we go. The bolt is out. There's the sway bar end link, nice and loose. Everything's just loosey-goosey. Now the strut is just hanging here by those 3 bolts up above. So we'll go up above and pop those 3 bolts out, and down this will come. The top, these are the 3 bolts we're going to be removing. So these ones right here, locator tab, 13 millimeter, pop those out, strut will drop on down. So there we go, we got the rear one replaced. So the new strut's in. As you can see, there's the alignment tabs up there, going all the way down, down, there it is on that. And not too bad, it comes down to kind of that line you can barely see on there, but everything looks pretty good. So that's pretty much it. So just pop these back in, reverse order of course, and you should be good to go. And I'll come back and show you some of the Torx on them as well. Tip for you, when you're putting that those rear struts in again, it's kind of hard to put them in, trying to hold on to them and then reach around the whole body of the car and get a nut in to hold them on the top. So what I did is I kind of threaded it through first with that locator tab up top, and then kind of just held onto it, and then came back down here and put in the base of this bolt in through this hole here, the one that we took off earlier for the sway bar, just to kind of hold it so that I could get up top and put the nuts on the top as well. So just put a couple nuts on the top, that'll hold it. You can pull this back out again, and the strut doesn't fall down again, but it's loose enough where you can work with it. So we're going to reinstall the bolts in reverse order. So this is what we should be looking at when we're done. So this one here, this bolt on your sway bar, that's 150 pounds. These ones up here, these are the ones that hold the A-arm on the frame, 55 pounds. And of course the ones on the top that hold the strut on the top, the upper ones up there in the engine compartment, those are going to be 22 pounds. And don't forget that little aluminum box, which is behind here, that's about 11 pounds. And then put in your little retainers as well. And boom, we're good to go. So that's pretty much it. That's how to put the Z51 shocks on a non-Z51 car so you can lower it down and just button her up. Put the plastic panels back on the front if you haven't already, and off we go. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.